Today we have another perfume video. I've been taking my perfume reviews very seriously lately, and I've been focusing on filming them quite regularly. Today we're going to be talking about the last in the lineup of Elizabeth & James fragrances, and this is Elizabeth & James Nirvana Bourbon. This is I don't know why I left it to the last to review. When initially the white and the black came out, I've snatched them up and I've tested them out and I've tried them, and I formed my opinions, and I'll link all of the other reviews or videos mentioning these fragrances down below just for your information if you want a complete picture of what I'm thinking about Nirvana fragrances in general. But I'll give you a very short synopsis. So first of all, Nirvana Black is the only fragrance that really had impressed me so far. In the Elizabeth & James Nirvana line, I had a problem with the white, Nirvana White, being too boring, too uninteresting, uninspired, too blah. Black to me is a little bit more sultry. It has a wink to it. It has a bit of an interesting backstory, perhaps. You want to know that person a little bit more. Nirvana White, I know that usually it layers with black, and I did try to layer them together as well, but I think black is just better on its own for me. Then I tried the French Grey, and that was a lavender-based kind of thing that was quite unisex, and I was very intrigued. I ended up purchasing a bottle of it, which I regretted tremendously, and decluttered. I'll leave the declutter video below where I got rid of a few fragrances. So I was feeling a little bit down after I decluttered it. It was just not sitting right on me, although I thought that the fragrance itself was interesting. It somehow did not integrate with being worn. Like, it was not user friendly. It wasn't sitting well on my skin. I tried it on my husband's skin. It was fine. But you know, it was just not super user friendly. And then was the biggest disappointment of them all. It was the Rose. Nirvana Rose out of the Elizabeth & James Nirvana line was a tremendous disappointment. I thought white was disappointment, but Rose was disappointment. It made white look a lot better to me, because at least it was kind of pleasant and sort of nice, although it was super boring to me. Rose was just super disappointing. It was really boring. It was more boring than the white. The Rose was not of the greatest quality, without any thought behind it. I'm not really sure who composed it. I don't remember now, but it was poor effort in my opinion. It was so mediocre, so middle of the road, so I didn't even want to film a separate video about it. I included it in my empties and talked about how disappointing it was. That video will be down below as well. And it just got me into a mood about Nirvanas, because in my mind, I'm like, well, why is the whole line really only good with one fragrance? How come the rest of them are a disappointment and only one of them is actually of the quality that I imagine they should all be? And then that's why I kind of put off trying the bourbon, mostly because I was thinking to myself that, oh, I don't feel like being disappointed by one of the Nirvanas again. And luckily I wasn't. I can't say that this is the best fragrance ever. I can't say that it necessarily beats Nirvana Black for me. I think it's still the front runner in my books. I think this is the second tier out of their lineup. The Rose is like in the last place, and the rest of them are sort of shuffling around somewhere towards the end. But Bourbon was actually a very pleasant surprise. What I was expecting is obviously something boozy, which it is not at all. So Bourbon refers to the kind of vanilla that is in this scent. Apparently it's a bourbon vanilla is the kind of vanilla that is in here. It's not referring to bourbon, the alcoholic drink, which shows up in some perfumery here and there, and I have some fragrances that actually have bourbon, the drink, as one of the notes, and I really enjoy that too. So I was kind of waiting for that, waiting for the booziness, waiting for the interest, waiting for the sultriness, and I was thinking, well, maybe it'll be a good one. And it is, but not in the way that I thought it would be. It was a bit of an unexpected twist, because first of all, this fragrance is actually quite good quality. Let's start there. It definitely lasts. It makes sense. The construction, the composition of the fragrance, really very straightforward. I was surprised at how simple it smelled. And then when I looked up the notes, I always smell things before I look up the notes to compose my own like first impressions and what I'm feeling, what I'm smelling in the fragrance. And it is straightforward. It is what it is. You're smelling what is there. There is not a particular pyramid description really that the manufacturer is providing, but what they're saying is there are 3 ingredients only in this scent, and I agree, that's exactly what I smell. There is bourbon vanilla, there is tuberose, and there is oak. That's it. So they basically took the minimalist approach to the formulating of this fragrance and put 3 molecules in there and combined them in a way that is actually quite lovely. I think it's cohesive. I think it makes sense. I think the intention is very clear. I think it's very clear what they were trying to make here, and I really appreciate it because I don't like to be confused about fragrances. Confusion is usually not a good thing. When you don't know where the perfumer was going while making it, when you're not sure what it's supposed to be able to tell you or convey, I don't necessarily like it. I want to have a very good idea, like when I'm reading poetry, when I'm reading text. I want to have an idea of what it is that the creator is trying to convey. I want to have a taste of it, and here definitely you do. It's very cohesive, as I said. It makes complete and total sense together, and the fragrance is held together very nicely. Again, it makes sense. It's almost spherical in its construction because it's just so well crafted and symmetrical from every side. The biggest voice in this scent is most definitely the oak. The fragrance is classified as a woody vanilla, and I completely agree. That's precisely what it is. Very straightforward, woody vanilla. If you are somebody who wishes that they would be able to find more feminine, or on the feminine side, woody fragrances, I think this is not a bad way to go for sure. You have here an oak that is a very strong young oak scent, and I'll explain. It's not necessarily oak, it's just white wood, really good quality white wood, very well crafted already. So it's been cut, it's been chopped, it's been sanded, so it's nice and smooth at that point, and that fine woody dust is really what you're smelling in the workshop. So wood in the workshop, not wood in the forest, if you know what I mean. So that is very nice and straightforward and clean and sets the tone for the scent. And then you have the bourbon vanilla, which tends to be a slightly wetter kind of vanilla, a little bit more oomph and substance to it, but it's not a sweet vanilla. It is a bit of a boozier, more hefty scent, but it is not sugary at all. So if you are a fan of those very popular sugar bombs where vanilla is there, but like it's sugary vanilla, that's not what is in here. Here we have a level of sophistication, thankfully, that is there. And it's not overwhelmed by the sweetness of the vanilla. The slightly sweet vanilla, it gives it a bit of a flair, but it doesn't make you think about cupcakes, thankfully. Again, I think it's just so, the market is so oversaturated with those sorts of scents that I dread another release of those super sweet floral patchoulis. Almost edible ones. I know they're popular for a reason. People like to associate smell and food, but I'm just so bored with them. They're all the freaking same. I have trouble digesting the fact that that's the most of what our current releases are doing right now. But I've noticed a shift in the last maybe 2-3 years where companies are starting to take an alternate route, and they're no longer just bombarding us with those, bakery scents, basically. Nothing wrong with them. It's just the sheer amount and the force with which they're being shoved down our throats is it doesn't sit well with me. I don't like when some trend turns so massive and sort of it makes me feel a little gross, like can we please have a little bit of variety and diversity here? It's all smelling the same. So this is pleasant from that perspective, actually, because it is a vanilla. So there's a lot of vanilla in here. but it is not that same sweetie sweet story with cavities forming as you're inhaling it. This is better. This is more interesting. It's more elevated. It's more sophisticated. It's not for a little girl anymore, which thank God. Thank you, Elizabeth and James, for taking vanilla seriously in here. But I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that it's paired with a pretty decent woody scent. And the wood here, not the vanilla, is really the star of the show, despite the name of the fragrance, funny enough. The third background player in this little spectacle of a scent is tuberose. Tuberose can be difficult to wear here. I don't think you'll have a problem with it. Tuberose is generally a bit of a sweatier, meatier, heftier, heavier scent. It can be almost offensive. Here, there is a smaller amount of it, and it's playing very much a supportive role, and it doesn't shove flowers in your face. So the scent still remains very much a wood scent. And the floral is there playing a supportive role, you know, providing vocals in the background, not a solo in the foreground. Which I like. I think that is also a very good choice, and it creates a sensation of, again, slightly more wearable, elevated, minimalistic impression, which I think is what they were going for with this one. So I actually was appreciative of the scent. I think this is a good choice. I think it's a good move. I think it's a decent scent, well constructed, wears well. The wood really blooms on the skin and comes out more with wear. So the more you wear it, the more wood you'll get, the more the vanilla will evaporate. So I think perfect for work occasions. It's just an easy wearing scent that I think will work for you like a workhorse, and it will do a lot for you. You can wear it wherever. I wouldn't say it's particularly sexy or very assertive, or that the scent is in any way a date scent or a romantic scent. None of that. It's just a good wearing, easygoing, woody vanilla that you can take to the bank with you. You know, you can take it really anywhere you like. I think it's a good work scent. I think it's an easy fragrance to wear, and I think very few people will hate it, which makes it a good gifting scent as well. Usually I say never buy anything you haven't smelt, so don't buy blind. But, you know, I always like to specify which scents, because there are people out there, they're always going to buy blind and base their opinion on other people's reviews, and that's fine. That's why we're here. But certain scents, I really say, like, don't buy blind. This is dangerous. You might hate this. This is polarizing. This is non-polarizing. I think if you're gonna get this as a gift for somebody, they'll probably like it, or at least not dislike it. They'll probably wear it anyway. It's a pretty safe option, reasonably safe as you can be with buying people's scents, really. But easy option, safe option, and pretty wearable scent. I can't really describe a specific kind of a person, but it is on the unisex side, but not all the way, not like smack in the middle unisex. It is a little bit softer, a little bit more vanillic and sort of touchable. But however, the wood in it really makes it wearable, I think, for men who like softer scents. If you tend to go towards the floral, softer, maybe a little bit gourmand scents, you might actually enjoy it if you're a male. This could work, I think, rather easily and wouldn't raise questions, because most people don't like to be questioned about the gender specifics of their fragrance. They just want the fragrance to fit well with them. I think this could very well go both ways, so to say, but probably the marketing obviously will be geared towards females for sure. However, this is not a difficult, it's passable for men, most definitely, if you're concerned with that. In my opinion, you should just wear whatever you feel like wearing. But if you're concerned about the passability of the scent for a unisex scent, then definitely this one will pass for sure. Okay, so have you tried the Nirvana bourbon, and what do you think of it? Also, I want to know what you think is the best bourbon out of the whole lineup that they have. In my opinion, it's black, followed by this one, the bourbon. And tell me if you like any of the others in the lineup and why, because I'm always curious, forever and ever. All right, that's it for today. Have a good day. Good luck. See you later. Bye-bye.